Regular Guy Barbecue back here at the Smoker's Shed, as you can see. And we are getting ready. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
What's this?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Whose phone is that? What are you doing with that phone?
Hey, there's
Hey,
one.
hey, what are you doing?
Hi.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Hey.
Hey, you guys can tell this is Anna's Adventures. You guys know that. But Anna, Ray, and Dalton are up here visiting us this weekend. We've got a lot planned for them. We've got a lot of food to cook too.
Oh my goodness, yes we
Yes,
do.
we do. So stick around, get your popcorn, sit down in your favorite chair, get your favorite beverage, and enjoy Anna's Adventures with the barbecues.
We get to record Regular Guy Barbecue
That's this funny looking guy right here.
grilling. You normally don't see Regular Guy Barbecue or Anna's Adventures.
That's all right. I like being on Anna's Adventures. I like having Anna and her family here.
They're enjoying the pit right now, but it's not lit.
Not yet. Later. It's a little warm right now.
We even got Dalton. Say hi.
He was sleeping. He didn't sleep at all last night.
Yeah.
That's going. That's good.
Have you ever showed the inside of the shed? Got the beer bubbling, getting ready to put the brats in. Smoky.
Smoke gets in your uterus. Get out. Get.
How long do you normally cook them?
I don't have a set time. It kind of depends on how hot the fire is. But you can usually tell when they're getting done when they just start to split and things like that. You don't have to have them completely cooked when you're doing them the way I do, because when they get close to done, I'll put the beer in there too. And then the beer will get hot. And you throw them in the beer.
So you kind of are still boiling them.
You do, but the reason I do it afterwards, because think about this. Have you ever had a brat where you bite into it and it's almost like hard or dry?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is you boil them first, right? Then you throw them on the grill, they split open, all your juice runs out.
Yep.
Okay. So when you do it this way, they start to split open and the juice starts to run out. You toss them in the beer, keeps them moist. Even if you get them charred, it'll soften the char up where it's edible.
Mmm.
Barbecue's tip for the day.
Gonna be yummy. Be back in a minute.
They're not ready to flip yet. Well, these ones in the middle are getting done a little faster, but they're still got a couple more minutes. Getting there slowly, but they're getting there. So, curiosity question might come up for you, maybe. Why do I only have charcoal on one side of the grill?
It controls the temperature.
Partly.
Also, so you don't cook over the flame.
Guess what happens when you got your gas grill going wide open and you're cooking brats over, they start to skirt. You start flaming up and making a mess, right?
Yeah.
I don't put the brats directly over the heat for the most part. A little bit of it, they're really close, but they won't drip directly onto the coals.
And go.
That's right. Now, there is a time when you can put them over there to get that outside char, and outside sear, that kind of thing, but yeah, I put the lid on and I'm not watching it, guess what's going to happen? And I learned my lesson the hard way on one of these. You ever seen them Coleman to-go grills where you can fold them up and all that kind of thing? Well, when we bought this house, that was the first kind of grill that I had. And I was out here cooking brats. And I'm like, yeah, that's great.
I got smoke on my face here.
That's all right. The pressure regulator failed on the fuel. And I had
Lovely.
flames just about touching the high wires. And it melted the aluminum plating inside of that thing.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was horrible. They sent me a brand new grill for free because I showed them what happened, showed them pictures of everything happened. They're like, oh yeah, that's a fault on our part. Sorry, Eva. Here's another grill for you. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm like, well, that was awful nice of them. I didn't expect them to do that because it was a couple years old at that point, but they honored it. So it was kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, that's what we do. So if you take a look here, you can see. See, all my heat's over here in a very small area. This also gives me the ability, if one's starting to flame up, I can put him over here where he's still going to continue cooking because it's still warm in there. But he's not going to get so hot where he starts to burn. And you can see that they're getting pretty close to done on the one end, not on the other. Does it make myself a little bit more labor? Yeah, a little bit. You got to spend a little more time tending to your brats and flipping them and turning them and things like that. But you do it right, a little experience, you will end up being able to control what's going on. You'll be able to watch it and learn what needs to be done when to turn them, when to flip them over, and it'll be just fine. Best brats you'll ever have, I guarantee you.
Hey, Scooby.
I'm at 65 yesterday. Never dated. Never had a woman. Nothing. So you can see one darker end, one lighter end, so we just turn them around, make the hokey pokey.
And you turn to talk about.
That's broad, it's all about yeehaw! So a lot of people will put them over the direct heat also because they want to get them done fast. Because, you know,
But then that don't
eat
cook
now,
the
eat
inside.
now, you know. It's okay to low and slow your brats a little bit. I mean, medium heat, okay, you know, but you don't need to get them over the nuclear heat. Get them done really quick, because I know my brother-in-law did that about at least 25 years ago. We were out camping, and he was making the food, and I'm like, cool. And unfortunately, the brats were a little underdone. And a few people got sick in the middle of the night. But, you know, it's dark, you're camping, he's trying. Grateful to have the meal, absolutely.
Yes.
Things happen sometimes. But the longer you can keep them in there without blowing them up and charring them, the more done they're going to be, which is also why the beer bath afterwards is so important. Make sure we're rotating some of the middle ones out to the outer edge so they cook a little more evenly. Now we bring those guys into the middle that were out on the outer edge. I don't know why they don't answer that car. That car sounds very lonely.
Well, a second ago, the mourning dove was actually.
You know, a couple of these are going to need a few minutes longer on here because they were more on the outer edge. You see that one slightly. That's why you don't put them directly over that hot charcoal. You see the splits are starting to happen. Then you know that they're really close to getting beer time. A couple minutes, we'll have beer time. Maybe I'll have more beer time. That's ahead of time, right? You see how they're splitting, because they always do, unless you put them over here, and then they won't. But when they split, and you boil them in the beer ahead of time, yeah, you're going to get the flavor of the beer, okay, I'll give you that. But you're not going to keep that moisture in there, because it's all running out right now. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to move them over. Actually, I think I'm going to take this one and put it over there just for a minute. Woo! She's going to go hot and fast.
You trying to pull them off?
Nope. Look at how much that split over that, just being on there for 30 seconds.
Trying to avoid getting too close to the heat. There you go. You can see it split.
Yep.
Woo!
Now, and this isn't the best pan for this. I'm not thrilled about using this pan, but I have 30 of them in the shed. So I'm like, well, if I wreck it, who cares? I buy them at garage sales and auctions and things, and they become almost disposable. So what I want to do now is I'm going to get that beer heated up. This is an insulated pan, so it's going to be a little bit wonky as far as warming the beer up goes, but it should be relatively quick. And my goal here is to get the beer boiling, just boiling, and then throw the brats in. And that should, you know what, let's just put them in now. We'll just put them in now. I put 3 bottles of beer in here. We don't have that many brats, but I wanted to make sure that they got all the way down in there. And if you're using a different size pan or maybe have more or less brats, you know, just accordingly, you can see that those are just covered. So they're going to be in really good shape as far as boiling them goes. Now this process, and I'm going to move this back just a little bit so we don't actually know. Holy moly, huh?
How long does that have to?
About 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's starting to bubble.
So far, so good, eh?
If it rains, it's gonna freaking. Then I can use the other side to.
Yep, bring it on. So now those are starting to boil pretty good. So we're going to move this over a little bit. But we've also got dogs because, you know, like who doesn't like a hot dog? You know, and it's an American holiday this weekend. So we are going to cook hot dog. Now these are going to go right over the fire because they're not skinned. They don't have the big fats that run out of them like they do when you make the brats.
We need smell-o-vision.
Everybody break out your smellophone and check out how these are. These are the Nathan's hot dogs, the bun length ones, so they're the better ones, because I like them better. Not those bar S hot dogs and that, I mean, they're fine if you're feeding your kids and putting them in macaroni and cheese and that. But if I'm making hot dogs, I want to make good hot dogs. And I find personally that the Nathan hot dogs, even though we're not sponsored by them, have the best quality skinless dog.
It's gonna be some good eating because barbecue is cooking.
Yeah, we'll wait till you see what we do tomorrow.
Yes, stay tuned because later on in this video, you'll see.
We're gonna go insane tomorrow.
I'm already there. Let me know when you get there, man. I'll show you around.
What do you mean? You're spending the weekend there. All right. I'm gonna take one out. They're done, and I'm gonna leave them in there for a minute longer. But I want you to try this and tell me if this is or is not the best brat you ever
Oh,
had.
this is gonna be hot.
Yeah, it'll cool off fast. If you overcook them in the beer, you'll lose the snap and everything like that to them. But 15-20 minutes, give or take, depending on how hot you're boiling your beer at and everything like that. And you could even do this in the house if you wanted to do it that way, because it doesn't add any more flavor being on the grill.
Ooh, hot.
No.
Oh, wow.
Juicy, tender on the inside, a little snap on the outside. Just the way a brat should be.
That's good. Now I feel like Danielle.
So we're going to pull them off, and we're going to take them in the house, and we're going to eat because it's too blazing hot to be out here.
And the hot dog's all done.
Hot doggies are done. Brats are done. My recommendation, if you don't want to overcook your brats to the point where they are falling apart and don't have that snap on the outside like a brat should have, cook them to where you think you have just a touch of pink left in the brat before you put them in the beer, because they will cook in the beer as well. Always make sure you're just giving them a little bit of love at the end.
And you can see. All cooked.
To perfection.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Are you videotaping me doing this?
Gotta get some of it in here.
Absolutely. Well, let's go through what we're doing. So we've got green beans, garlic, and butter. We're going to steam them in here on the grill. Probably take a half hour to 40 minutes. Nothing too crazy. Just simple side food. Now over here, we saw bacon wrapped asparagus, and Anna's got a fantastic way of wrapping it. Please make sure you go see that short. We had a little bit of leftover asparagus. So we're just going to wrap that and cook it in butter. 20 minutes on those probably, somewhere in there. Come on, Rip. Wow.
Not the way you want me
It's
to.
Star Wars 2, The Tinfoil Fights Back. Still usable tinfoil. We're going to wrap those up. We've got the other grill getting started. So let's go over here and take a look at this grill. This one, we've got a couple different things on. We've got the bacon wrapped asparagus down here. Potatoes up there, they're just plain potatoes. But we've got a short rack of beef spare ribs that's on there as well. We seasoned those earlier. We're cooking them with the num num wood. It's hickory and charcoal. 275 degrees. I'm figuring they're going to take probably a grand total of 4 hours with the hour of wrap time. We'll show you what those look like later. But over here, this is going to be the big one. You look at this and you think, well, what in the heck are you putting in that pan? There is garlic in there, rosemary in there, and there is butter in there. The reason I'm doing that pan separate is because this tempura is terrible. This is going to be a rosemary and garlic butter, or infused butter. And what that's going to do is, because I want to treat my friends and family while they're here, we're making steaks. We've got bison steaks, and we've got big, thick-cut T-bones fresh from a cow that we had slaughtered and bought. And we're going to infuse those steaks after we sear them with that butter combination. And it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We'll show you the process to that when we get to it. Which one's the butter? Is that the butter? So there's how our bacon fries. You see how that bacon constricts around the asparagus? Now they may not get as done as you might like bacon to be if you like it crunchy, but I rest assured that that is going to be really good to chew on. We're going to give that a few more minutes and then we'll pull them off. Let me make room for the rib slices. I'll go check this one out. So here we've got the beans. Since you're the biggest fan of the beans that we have in this, Anna, you get to be the taste tester. They're going to be hotter than pits of Haiti, but looks like the butter cooked down. They might be a little green yet. So.
Yeah, very green.
They're still a little hard yet?
Okay. Oh, but they're good.
Okay. We'll put that one over there for a minute. Put this one back in here for a minute. I guess we can get this one in while we're... Nah, we'll leave that. Let's go take a look at this one. This is another asparagus pan.
Bacon pan.
Bacon pan with asparagus. I see they're not nearly cooked enough, but you can see that they're constricting around there. And the idea behind this is they should constrict around the asparagus as they cook, and that way they'll stay wrapped around there, so you can make every vegetable taste good. We'll put that one back in. I think we should pull the other ones off. I also got to check on my butter. We'll do that first. We'll let it smell the rosemary coming out of that. So this I can probably leave off once the butter's melted, then it'll infuse all the flavors from the rosemary and the garlic. Yeah, that's what you want. Oh, you can smell that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave that one out. That one's done. We'll put that one aside for right now. Let's see what this one here looks like. Take these off.
Well, you can just hear them bubbling.
There's a lot of bacon.
Sizzling. And we didn't spray the pans or anything like that either.
It might have been a good idea, but I'm not overly concerned about it. First thing I gotta do though.
Gotta add some more num
wood. For those of you that may not be familiar with my channel, any of the woods that we put in there that add flavor, my daughter deems num wood. So that's what they are. And I prefer the larger chunks like this because they do tend to add a little more heat to the fire. They also smoke a little longer. So that's kind of a win-win. Win-win. All right. Let's see what we got here.
This one's different.
Not quite done, but they are cooking very nicely. I think we're going to move this one over towards the fire a little bit more. Because even though my thermometer says it's running about 275 degrees in there, obviously it's a little warmer towards the fire.
And that's why the other pan is...
A little more done.
Yeah.
If it was closer to the fire. Let's take another look. All right, I think we can tone.
Yeah,
Well,
these ones look almost fine.
Yeah, I think you could actually try one of these here. You want to try one?
Okay.
You like asparagus?
Oh yeah.
Okay, see if you can grab that one right there. That one's probably the most. Yeah, they're a little stuck. I was afraid that might happen. I'll get the spatula. Yeah, it's a little warm.
A little?
Yeah, a little. Give this one about another 5 minutes. See if that makes a difference in eating your greens. Too damn hot, that's what he says. It's too damn hot.
Let it sit there and cool off for a minute.
Yeah.
You never realize how hot bacon grease can get.
Oh yeah, until you get burned by it.
Yeah.
Looking really unfiguratively. Yeah, it's absolutely terrible.
Oh. But from what I tasted,
That's the way to eat them. Yeah, I got a better idea for
oh, num-num.
That might be a little bit easier.
Still warm.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit more.
He's doing the num num
Anytime
dance.
you're gonna make vegetables, adding bacon always helps.
All right, now we get to look at these ribs.
Your
Yeah.
turn.
I
we're
will
gonna-
in a second here.
We're gonna show these right now, but they're gonna be a little bit before we can get them in because even with 2 smokers going or 2 grills going, if you want to call them that, I'm still running out of room. I gotta switch gloves. We could probably actually lay these out on the cutting board right now if we wanted to. We could get them seasoned. Because it'll be soon when we can get them on. Go ahead, Anna. Give it a shot.
I've never had asparagus.
Oh, you might like this then. If you like green beans, I think you'll like it.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
All right.
I think I'll definitely be eating some of those tonight.
Oh, and when you try the ones that are just cooked in butter, I think you'll be impressed, pleasantly surprised. Now, these are short ribs, or spare ribs, if you want to call them that. Now, for some reason, this butcher, I don't know why, asked for dino ribs, and they cut them the other way. So you have the little bone in each one of them, and they're cut in about maybe 3/8 of an inch thick or so, which is perfectly fine. Not what I wanted, but what I got. So we'll put a package of these out to start with, just to show what we're going to do with them. Now, I have never actually cooked one that looks like this, but it's ribs. It's not that hard.
I see what you mean about the end of it is more woody,
Yeah,
even though I did cut off about 1.5 inches.
yeah. A lot of it gets a little bit tricky. So we're going to go. I don't have time or the patience to make a rub of any kind today. Usually I like to make my own, but it's too blazing hot. The heat index is well over 100 degrees today. This is a Miner's Mix, Maynard's Memphis Barbecue. Pretty much a generic barbecue rub. We're gonna layer the rub on really good. Now these are pretty moist because they're frozen when we got them. They're defrosted nicely, but there's a lot of moisture there. Now because of how thin these are cut, it's gonna be kind of difficult. Ribs take a long time to cook. It's a tough meat, and you low and slow it for a reason. As thin as these are cut, this is not going to be easy. I've never tried to cook these before, but there's a first time for everything. So we're going with our Maynards here. Let's not save big money at Maynards. We are not sponsored by this rub at all. This is one that somebody bought for me as a gift a while back, so I use it. Especially when I'm in a hurry or just not feeling like spending an extra 20 minutes out here in the primal heat making rubs. But there is salt in these. I think there's brown sugar, maybe a little cayenne pepper, your regular ground peppers, garlic, onions, salt, things like that. I could read the the ingredient list, but nah. You guys use what you guys like for the rub. That's the biggest thing you gotta do. These are beef, so usually I'm more of just a salt, pepper, garlic, onion guy with beef, but for ribs, we're gonna give it a shot. For something different we're making, we're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. We've got 2 more packages of that, so I think we've got like 15 of them we're gonna make in total. They're gonna go on the smoker as low and slow as I can cook them without making them into shoe leather. We'll see what happens. Okay, beef short ribs. These are seasoned earlier today, put on the grill as early as possible today. Now, they're a little bit like baby backs if you've done those before. Let's go over there right now. Shoot, this is ridiculous. They're a little bit like baby backs in a way. You're going to see how the bones,
Yep, the bones are
the
already
meat's
coming
starting to
out.
pull out of the bone there a little bit. Now, they're not going to be as prominent as a baby back rib, but let me show you something real quick here. Now, where did I put that dumb thing? Oh, I put it in here somewhere. There it is. I'm just going to check this because I want to kind of show you as we go along what kind of things you're dealing with. Instant probe. So you're in the 185 range right in there, which is a pretty good time to wrap. That was just a guess on my part as far as timing goes.
Yeah.
But by looking
Whoa,
at it, I
look
can
at
kind
that.
yeah, you'll get the juice run out. Now, a lot of people, this is the part where they'll put butter, margarine, brown sugar, maple syrup, whatever they're going to put inside to do the wrapped part of the cooking. Nah, we'll just do it like this.
As I get blinded by the aluminum foil.
it's pretty funny out today. So again, I'm always a double wrapper just because I want to make sure that we're not going to lose any of that precious moisture that's inside of that meat right now. And doing the wrap, basically, for those of you that are not big into barbecuing, all the fats that are in there will render through the meat. They'll stay coagulated if you don't get your temperatures up, but you want them to render out of the meat and then almost act like a steam in this position. So it'll take a little bit of the bark off the outside, but this will definitely help them cook a lot more evenly. So we're just going to put that in.
Are we going to check those ones?
Yeah, I can check those. Why not? We're here. We'll check these, and if they are, then we can get those sliced ribs.
That's
They're gonna
what
hear
the
it
other
pop.
ones look like.
Snap, crackle, and pop, and there you go.
Oh, yep, those ones are done too.
How do you like them apples? Want to make them apples, them asparagus. All right.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm going to let them cool off for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to take them out of the pan, put them the rest of them, and again, we can warm those up as we go along. You ready for these? All right, let's do these. Since our little rack is protected, I'm going to put him up on the top. And I'm still questioning how these are going to cook. Because as thin as they are, you think, well, they're going to cook really fast. But this is rib meat, so you don't necessarily want them to cook really fast. So I don't know what the heck we're going to end up with, but we're going to give it a try. Again, the salt has been on here probably 15, 20 minutes or so. So that gives that an opportunity to render that meat a little bit sweated, if you want to call it that.
I was wondering when we were going to hear those frogs.
Yeah, well, it's been 15 minutes, so. I'm going to try to do it in 2 batches. We'll do this half now, and we'll do this half in a little bit, depending on how long those take to cook. And of course, we need more num wood, because it does not have smoke going on. Yeah. Couple more chunks of the wood. We are running a little low on fuel. Yeah, Charcoal's running a little low. I'm probably going to have to add a little bit more. Which is fine, I bought a bag just for today.
We've already used it twice. 3 times?
Well, 2 chimneys still plus adding into this one.
Well, we used it yesterday too.
No, we didn't.
You used a different bag for that?
Right?
Because we cooked the brats and dogs
You're
last
right,
night.
I'm wrong, you're right. We did brats and dogs out yesterday, you're right, but that didn't take very much charcoal. That was only a couple of pounds. Because they cook relatively quickly.
Well, I guess we should check the beans again.
Yep, I will. I'll get my gloves on. Let me move this asparagus real quick. We'll get that out of the way. And then we'll move on to check the beans again. Again, we didn't spray the pans. They are sticking just a little bit here and there, but not too bad. More asparagus. There's another one for sampling.
It hit the grass curb.
Anna wants to check the beans because she wants to taste test them. Which one is
Those
that?
are the asparagus. Alright, there's the beans. And they're not the kind of beans that make you toot.
No, no magical fruit for you.
These ones are going to be a lot hotter though.
Probably. Because it's running about 500 degrees in there. Hey, why don't you get one in the middle a little bit more this time? Hotter than blazes.
I'm using my nail to get that.
Yeah, so again, these are just being steamed inside there with butter and garlic. That's all that we put in there. There's no other fancy flavorings, no other fun and excitement. Still a little.
Almost done.
That's what I figured. 5, 10 more minutes probably in there, and they're gonna be perfect.
They're really good though.
All that matters is it tastes good. All right, back to the sitting. Here we have some bison medallions. Now what we're doing with those today is they're going to cook relatively quickly. And we have to be careful as far as cooking these because as you can see, there's very little fat in these things. So I've got a pan over here that we're using our rosemary and garlic infused butter in, warming that up to get it boiling. And we're going to cook them directly over the heat for about 3 minutes on each side. We're hoping for medium rare once we're completely done. It's as hot as it wants to be, so it's going to take a minute longer. I just added charcoal, so the heat isn't quite as hot as I want it to be. Now these are seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. That's all we put on them. So they're actually going to take probably about 4 minutes on this side because the temperature of the grill just isn't as hot as it should be. But it's coming up fast. Yeah, you should try one of those. Stick your fingers there, I don't care.
Perfect. They're perfect.
I'll tell you what, gang. Rosemary and garlic on steak, mushrooms help. You just put it on the mushrooms. Portobello's, absolutely amazing. But you've probably seen a similar technique. A lot of the higher end chefs you see making videos and things about cooking steaks is after they sear their steaks on the outside for a few minutes, put those cute little hash marks on them, they'll flip them into a pan and they'll spoon the rosemary and garlic over the top of it. You've seen that before,
yeah.
Right? And the butter in it, and they'll spoon and spoon it. I'm not a firm believer in standing there using a spoon, mostly because I'm lazy. So what I will do is I will just put in the pan and I will let it sit in the pan and cook on each side. It also gives you an opportunity for your steak to cook a little bit more, because normally if you just do a steak for 3 or 4 minutes on each side, it's going to be raw or rare at best. Not going to be cooked very well. A couple extra minutes in the pan will give you a little closer to medium rare. Then once you let it sit for about 5 minutes, it should be perfect. Should be. So those are about a minute in-ish. You got a timer on there that tells you, because I can't keep track of time in my head.
Oh, we're at 2:18 on the video, so.
All right, so we're about a minute in. We're gonna give them about another minute, and then we'll turn them. And I usually turn them 90 degrees because then you get that real fancy X, you know. Yep. Put the hash marks on there. It's all about hashtags these days, right? No, those are the wrong hashtags. I'm sorry. My bad. I forget.
But I thought that was the pound sign.
Pound. It's tic-tac-toe. Don't let nobody BS you. It's tic-tac-toe. A little more butter in there. I like to use unsalted butter. You use what you want to use, but I like unsalted butter because Lord knows I don't need more sodium in that. There's enough of that stuff in the processed foods we eat. I don't want to put it in the stuff.
Okay, we're at 3 minutes.
All right. So we're going to turn these about 90 degrees. This is the wrong tool. That's my mushroom tool. They're not even close to cooking enough, so they're going to take a few minutes longer. One thing I also didn't do, which you should do.
Oh, grease the.
Yeah, you always oil your grates. And I prefer to use avocado oil because it's got a very high smoke point compared to like vegetable oil, and even safflower oil does not have as high a smoke point as the avocado oil does. So that's my preference. Let me know when we hit like 5 minutes on that timer. Meanwhile, not sponsored by the wonderful beverages I have. Keep me cool on a day when it's over 100 degrees outside.
Even though we should be sponsored by half the stuff we do.
Much business I've drum up for some of them things, you wonder, you know. All right, how we doing here?
We're at 4:06.
All right, we got another minute to go. The butter's got a little boil to it. We moved it off the direct heat. Now another thing you can do is, again, if you don't have as much heat as you'd like to have to truly sear, because I like to be at like 600 to 800 degrees to sear my steaks when I do them. We're nowhere near that. We're probably closer to 450 or 500. You can always put them away from the direct heat, and that will help you blow your plate off the tray. No, that'll help you to give them a little more time to cook, to get them a little bit higher temperature. Now, just for the sake of the argument, And once again, I can bring out the instant thermometer. Wonderful gift that I got from my son a few years back. I absolutely love it. It's a great thing to have. And you can use a regular thermometer, like my grill has one that's in the lid there. You could use one like that if you wanted to. But they take a little time to get up to the full temperature that they are. These Insta-reads, literally, it'll tell you it's 101, 102 right now outside. Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah, it's hot out
And they
here.
read within seconds.
Okay, we're at 5010.
All right.
5010.
5010.
I was going to say 509 and it
It's
hit to 10.
5010. So let's flip it over and see what we got. See, they do have the hash marks on them. It's not quite as warm as I'd like it to be now. Also remember that bison steaks, again, because they don't have the fat content in them, got to be a little bit more careful with what you do with them. Because
Yeah, the two center ones are more
exactly.
than the outside.
So we're gonna probably do those two, then move these two to the middle while we pan fry those two. The pan frying with the butter will not only give you that extra layer of flavor in your meat, it'll also give you a little bit of extra fat content, or keep some of your fat from running out of your steak. And when you're doing bison, once again, there is virtually no marbling. There's none there. 7 minutes, please.
All right, we're at 6.
We'll do this all the way in one shot. We won't cut or nothing. That means I can't drop any F-bombs and make you edit.
I wouldn't be worried about you. I'd be more worried about me.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because,
Did you like the F-bombs? Yeah.
oh, I dropped that.
I'm an F-bomb king. Meanwhile, I'm going to clean up my work area a little bit here because it's very important to keep
Oh,
the work
I can
area.
actually show them this though over here.
This
This is what's next to be
Yeah,
cut.
those are going to be next, and that's what I'm getting set up for over here, so we can get those started. But I want to be able to get to my cutting board as well, which I can't right now. So we're going to put these over here. Now, once again, we've gotten these to room temperature. Give or take.
Now they're outdoor
Even outside
temperature.
Yeah, they're probably getting close. But we've added the salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powders to them so they can have a little bit of sweat to help get the meat going. It also gives it that flavor. I go relatively simple on flavors with beef just because I don't want to go nuts and take away a flavor of a great steak. Now the beef that we're cooking today is actually provided by Miss Kathy's soon-to-be son-in-law. And he raised the cow, and we paid, and they butchered it down near where he lives. We went down and picked it up, and we're going to see how good a cow he raised for us.
Yeah, butter's getting low already.
That's all right. We got a little bit more in the pan, so we're okay.
See all the rosemary. It's dripping
Yeah,
on the
I
floor.
fished a lot of
Or the
it.
ground floor.
Yeah, so
Same
8,
thing.
We'll go 8.5, 9 on that. 9 probably. Oh, goodness gracious, it's warm.
2 points.
Yep.
I gotta watch out for a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, the mascot's down here getting his stuff in the middle of everything here.
Oh,
That's
you
okay.
bumped into my water.
You're just checking it out, making sure it's safe for you to drink.
Yeah.
All right, we have 9. We're getting close.
We got another 50 seconds.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait that long.
Half a second. Or half a minute, half a second. I am really bad with my words. Maybe it's all the heat.
It is. I got a little delusional when I'm up in this heat.
No, this is normal for him.
Hey, be nice. now.
Heat has nothing to do with
Be
it.
nice, Ray.
I am being nice.
All right, we're gonna go with them.
It's age-wise.
We're gonna put these right in that butter. You can see that pan is nice and hot. They're sizzling real good. We're gonna move these two to the center just to give them a little bit more love. Now again, this is the part where they tip the pan. They spoon. I'm lazy. Give me a minute on each side. We'll put them in there. We'll take one out and we'll cut it to see how close we get to having these done. And bison is a little bit harder to judge than beef as far as temperature wise. My son can stick his finger on it and tell you how done it is. He's a professional chef. I'm just a professional clown. But I like
There's
to
a
cook.
difference?
Well, yeah. I just like to cook.
All right, that's 1 minute on those. Oh, they look good.
The only other problem with sitting there spooning it,
Yeah.
that handle's real hot.
Yeah, when you're cooking cast iron over a 600 to 800 degree heat, it's a little warm. And let's face it, even these nice gloves that I got welding gloves in there that would take care of that business, but I'm too lazy to go get them too.
So yeah, it's not laziness, it's smart.
Well, yeah. Right, we'll go with what Ray said today. That seems
I'll
like
be
the right
nice and I'll cover you.
idea. Sure, you got Ray's got me covered. He's my social ambassador. That's the word I'm looking for.
I switched it to Troy this time.
Okay. All right.
Hey, let's leave mind control jutsu out of this.
Exactly. What? Who to? What to? R2D2?
Okay, they've been in there for a
All right,
minute.
so we're gonna flip them just one more time for a few seconds just to get some butter on the other side, and we'll take these out. We're gonna put them on the cutting board and let them rest. Usually I'll let them rest between 5 and 10 minutes, depending on what doneness people like. But we have to check those, so we're gonna check those.
And it makes no difference. We're all medium rare people. So.
More or less, yeah. So let's go over to the cart, or the Franken cart, and we'll see what they look like. Because these might not be even close to done. Actually, that's about just on the borderline of medium rare. So what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to throw them in there for about another minute, minute and a half. And they should be perfect. And also, if they would sit and rest for a few more minutes, I like in the restaurant when they put them under those heat lamps. I always order my steak medium rare, and they probably cook it to that temperature, and then they let it sit under the heat lamp.
Which takes it to medium.
Unfortunately, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's true. So while those guys are getting their thing done in the rosemary,
Yep, those other two need to be flipped.
yeah, these two do?
No, the other two.
Oh, these two.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so we'll get those in there. And while those guys are doing their thing, time for some T-bones. Again, we're going to go directly over the heat. I'm probably going to do them two at a time because I'm not really feeling well enough to try to struggle with 5 or 6 of them at a time. So there's some T-bones. Light. All right, give these one more flip. These are the ones that were more done. Now you can see even this is taking a little bit of time because I got them away from the heat a little bit. But a few minutes in there isn't going to hurt them. And I could use my thermometer. Let's do that. Let's use the thermometer and see what that says. And I like when I do a steak to make sure I test it properly. I like to go
Go
from the
through the
side.
thickest part.
So that's saying 164 degrees. I don't believe it. Take it away from the heat.
66.
So that should be
That
done.
should be done.
Usually I go for like 140. Maybe
I can
because of-
tell it's hot because my phone's getting hot.
Yeah, well, that's true. All right, let's take this one here. We'll put that one up there.
Those were our tests for
That's
the
the
ribs.
crash test dummy.
Oh, there's the chorizo.
Chorizo.
I always say it the wrong way.
That's actually a soy chorizo, so that's good for the vegans too. But it'll be just like chorizo. We're gonna use that for potato chopper today, along with some cheese and if you want sour cream or onions or anything like that. All right, guys, let's taste test time. Let's see how we
We got
got.
flame up.
Flame up.
And we
Oh,
got
yeah.
a little flame up.
That'll flame up, baby. All right, let's move
They've
that
been a
over.
minute on that side.
Okay. We'll just get them away from the flame up. That should be all right. Come on over. Let's try them.
All right, Ray.
Now again,
All right, Ray.
I'd usually let these sit for a few minutes, but that's okay. You can see there's still there's quite a bit of, there's a bit of red in there. And if they sat for 5 minutes, they'd be a little more done. Give it a shot. See what you think.
Go for it, Anna. You've never had bison. Like I said, I've traveled the world on my stomach. There
Oh, wow.
probably ain't a meat
I mean, that's
haven't
nothing
tried.
short of incredible.
That is, oh my. Oh, wow, you can even see this. Oh, that is good.
Bison is amazing meat, and the way I cook it is just, it's
Now I could tell Miss Q that I had bison.
there you go. I got a couple of things. Never mind. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, let's
Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we add a little more butter to bring that up to temperature so we can do these T-bones. Now they've been on a minute and a half-ish.
Yep.
So just gonna rotate them a little bit. Usually I try to go 90 degrees, but I don't get out my slide rule or do any geometry Contrary to what your geometry teacher told you in high school, a squared plus b squared equals c squared does not fall into place when you cook. Whatever the hell that means.
I might have to put my phone inside to let it cool off.
We'll stick it in the cooler for a little
When it
while.
comes to cooking, a squared plus b squared equals messed up.
A steak plus B tato equals C stomach.
Corn.
C stomach is full.
Right.
Gotta love it. Let's see how these
All
two
right,
ones
they've
are.
been
They're
on
probably
there
a
for
little
2
early.
minutes.
Yeah, they're a little
Oh.
early for the flip, but that's okay.
Oh, that
You
looks
don't have to do it
that
perfect.
looks done on that side.
Oh no, not even close.
Nope.
That's just the searing.
That's
Yeah, I
just the
know.
warming
That's
it
what
up
I'm saying. It looks done
I
on
wish
that
I
side.
had more heat in there, and I didn't add enough charcoal when I reloaded the grill. The reality of it is I'm getting really tired and I'm getting really dizzy and nauseous being out in the heat. But a good meal with good people, family, it's totally worth it.
It's been in the making for almost 2 years now for this.
Yep, pretty much. Actually, in October it will be 2 years.
Yeah.
So again, minute and a half-ish. The good news is these steaks have been out. They're probably above what you would consider room temperature. They're probably pushing 80 degrees, and some people, oh my gosh, you can't leave raw meat sitting out like that. Yeah, actually you can, and it's okay. It's just the goodies stuck on there. That's all right. That ain't gonna hurt nobody's. Hey, look at that. It's on fire. Cool. All right. Well, I gotta try that bison. I gotta see how I do.
It almost reminds me of prime rib.
Not quite as tender as prime rib. But
Yeah, but almost. That's what I said, almost. Because that's
oh my God, is that ever good?
That's my favorite cut. Is the prime rib. Then
Yeah.
it's the ribeye.
Ribeyes are very good.
But then when Ray cooks a steak, he makes a round steak taste
Yeah.
like a T-bone.
And that's impressive to do that, because round steaks are really tough.
And there is a video, if you go back, you'll see where Ray actually was cooking some
remember it.
steaks.
I remember it.
Yeah, but I don't think that at them point them were top round. If I remember correctly, them were New York strip.
You think those ones in the New York?
New York
But
strips are very
that's
good
the
too.
same way you cook your other steaks anyways.
Yes.
I mean, you
I
could
don't-
take a roast and slice it to being,
Yep.
3/4 of an inch and make a good steak out of it.
But a round eye roast, you don't slice and make it into steaks. You cook
No.
It,
You put it in one of those.
Exactly.
A round eye roast you cannot make tender by cooking.
Yes, I can.
Well,
No.
not by
Not by cooking
frying.
the steak. No,
If you do it in a smoker, it's possible and doable.
that's
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about those.
There's a video out here that I did about that, and it was amazing. Let me put it this way, Ray. I smoked that thing properly, where it cut like bologna.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that tender.
All right, we're at 18, so they should be ready to flip again. And the meat's already starting to come off the edge of the bone over there.
Into the butter with ya.
Oh, that smells good. But we're getting full off of just snacking.
This is why when you see me barbecue, more often than not, I will not sit down with my guests. Because I've already eaten so much snacking and sampling. that I'm full.
Well, every cook does. They
Yeah.
got to make sure the food is
It's
right.
called pitmaster privilege.
I just always look at it as I'm
And the
chef.
cameraman's privilege.
Right, exactly.
Now that these ones over here have sat for a little bit.
Those are the meat.
Those are the ribs.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. That's even better than when it was extremely hot.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely have that kick at the end.
Nope. They will kick you. They will kick you.
Which is fine. I don't mind being kicked.
Nope.
Yeah, my phone's really getting hot. But that's because of the weather.
Oh yeah, it's stupid out here.
Got about 30 seconds on the first one.
This is why I try not to manage more than a couple at a time, because if I had the big grill out here,
Yeah.
I could do all of them at once, but it gets to be a little bit to manage. So I like to do it a little bit slower so I can concentrate on less more often.
She's on. Almost, maybe. Nope, that's not the right one.
You know? So we got a minute or two on that. Why don't we come over here and take a look at these ribs? So these have been in there in the wrap for about an hour. Now again, normally I would let these sit in the foil for probably about another hour. I really don't have the patience today. I don't.
Oh.
Now take a look at that. Now look at the way those pulled back, huh?
Yeah,
That is really pulled back.
that was in the shape of a C. Now it's like flat.
Now it's the Batman symbol. Hi, Batman. All right, let's take a look at what we got there.
Those are some big bones.
These are beef ribs, so they're going to be a little bit bigger. Look at that.
Cuts like
Look at the
butter.
smoke rings in there. We'll trim off a little bitty. Maybe we won't. There it goes. There's a little bit of bark on it.
Oh my. They're better than the ones we had the other day.
Yeah, I can see it now. I'm gonna have to get a smoker.
Those are good, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we're back to the steak. So we're going to take this one over there too. I'm going to have to make some room. I'm running out of cutting boards.
I'll let you taste the steak, Ray.
I'm fine and dandy here.
You're just enjoying life, hanging out, man. That's as simple as it is. This one's had a couple of minutes to rest. We'll put him over there. We'll leave that other one in the butter for just a minute longer while we check this one out. Now, these T-bones are not as impressive as I thought they were going to be as far as shape goes. Because there should be more of the ribeye side than there is anything else, but that's perfectly all right. Let's see what we got. Now these, yeah, see, now that's a little bit more medium because they sat for a minute longer in that butter. There you go, give that one a shot.
I'll go with this piece. Oh, juicy. Those are good.
I'm always telling you guys, no matter what you do, if all else fails, trust a fat cook, because a skinny cook don't eat their own food.
Hey,
Are you trying to say something here?
I'm just picking on Ray a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, the skinny cook.
No, he's good. No, I know Ray can cook. There's no question about that. I've seen what he's done. Without even tasting it, I can tell. Keep on it.
That's very juicy.
I love it. You know what? Wish you some of that. Go ahead, take the whole thing.
I got
The whole damn thing.
Mm.
Fall off the bone.
Yeah, the bark is good too.
Yeah, that's what I had was bark.
Oof, that's where the flavor is.
Oh.
Walt, dear, come here.
I'm not steak.
Oh, that's even better on the inside.
Uh-huh. I think I got him by the stomach now.
Yeah, it's been flapping all day.
This one's, I think, it's shot. I got another cover back there I think I could try to use on this one, so not so bad. Now, one thing I do have to do, because I'm running kind of a little bit of a slope to my patio that's out here, is I do turn the pan, because then the butter runs the one way, so you get it all evenly buttered.
Yeah.
It's getting cold too, so I gotta get it heated up again.
We got one more to put onto the grill.
Yeah, I got one more to get on there, and then I got this one in the butter. We'll with him.
Oh, you can see how tender that one is.
Yeah.
I need to get one of those things that hold this in a stabilizer.
Yeah, yeah. One of those I don't remember what they call it, a gimbal. I've got one for my regular cameras, but not one that my phone can go on.
Because the one that I have is meant so you can put it around your neck, but then
Oh,
it
yeah.
sits there. It really gives you a bumpy ride.
That does, yeah, that's true. Butter's starting to coagulate in the pan here.
I'll sit it on the edge of the...
Yep. I've been living on the edge of a cooking room.
Probably should put the scoop back inside.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you, if you would be kind enough to do that, you can turn your camera off, let it cool down for a minute. And we'll show them what these look like at the end. Last of the T-bone steaks is coming out of the butter. You saw how good those look. Those are just amazing. I love them. Let's go see what we got cooking over here.
We hardly got any video of this one.
Yeah, this one we want to show.
I'll go on this side of it.
I'm not coming on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'll switch sides with you.
Yeah,
I just
I'll
don't
be-
want to
maybe
hit the
there we
smoker.
go. So there's our slices. These were not drawn tight. They're literally just slices. But that should be much more tender than the last one that we tested earlier. So I'm gonna let you test. There's a fair amount of gristle in these. The flavor should be pretty good. You go give that one a try, see if it's as good as the other one was.
Even better.
Good. So we did it right.
Oh, and they are very tender.
Touchdown barbecue.
Thank you,
It's my
Troy.
pleasure. You've seen everything we've
And
done.
of course, it's Regular Guy Barbecue. Check him out.
We got the chorizo, we got the mushrooms, we got the rib, we got the big ribs.
Got asparagus.
Asparagus, T-bone steaks.
Asparagus.
We got
But
every
we didn't cook the
stuff.
Scooby.
No, we didn't cook Scooby. We're gonna wrap this up, go inside where it's a little bit cooler and actually be able to eat in peace instead of sweat. Thank you for joining Anna's Adventures today. Like, share, subscribe, ring a ding that bell notification, and comment below and let us know what you think of all the food that we made today and how much bigger we're gonna be once we get done. In the meantime, always remember, we did it, you can do it too, and the number is always gonna be 3.
Thanks for
Don't
watching.
forget that.